Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast. My name is Samantha Genzer, and I'm going to be your show host for today. We have a very exciting show for you. We are going to be covering the name of the 13th WNBA team, why Tennessee softball can and can't win first place at the WCSW, how certain gymnastic stars have been prepping for the Olympics, and NIU and MSU championships in track and field. And, of course, make sure you stay till the end to hear an update about the participation gap in women's college sports. We will also talk about viewership in professional women leagues. Before we start, I would like to ask that you like and follow the show, and you can become a part of our show by tipping and donating. Your support means a lot to us. Also, we do get a number of questions that come in from viewers during the show, so to ensure that your questions get read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link at gsmcpodcast.net with your questions. This puts your questions at the top of the list so that I see them, and then also, of course, it really helps the show. Again, the link is gsmcpodcast.net. Okay, now let's get started. I hope you guys enjoy today's content. We're going to be starting off today's live stream with the 13th WNBA team unveiling its name. This is very big, exciting news. The Golden State WNBA expansion team announced its name and brand identity, the Golden State Valkyries. The name, which originates from Norse mythology, refers to the, quote, host of warrior women who are fearless and unwavering, flying through the air and sea alike. This brand is Golden State's modern interpretation of Valkyries, strong, bold, and fierce. The team's primary color is Valkyrie Violet, which signifies power, ambition, nobility, and women's empowerment, much like purple has been used symbolically in modern history, which is what the team said. Valkyrie's president, Jess Smith, said, "It feels like we've arrived. As much as I've loved saying WNBA Golden State, that was a placeholder and this is who we are. To be able to put that stake in the ground and begin building the brand equity and begin bringing our community together around this, it's a really special moment." Smith has over 18 years of experience in professional sports and will oversee all of the WNBA operations and will report directly to Warriors President and Chief Operating Officer Brandon Snyder. Also, I meant to say all of the Valkyries WNBA business operations. Not all the WNBA league, but you get the point. Snyder said, "Jess is a proven leader and the perfect fit to guide our WNBA team as we begin this exciting new endeavor. She brings a strategic and innovative business approach in addition to an impressive track record for exceeding financial and overall goals. Those intangibles will benefit us greatly as we aim to build a world-class franchise that will establish strong and impactful business initiatives off the court and compete for championships on it. We are excited to welcome Jess to the Golden State family." So Smith joined Golden State from Angel City Football Club, where she served then as the head of revenue since the team's inception in 2020. And then in that role, she oversaw partnerships, ticketing, commerce, operations data, and analytics, broadcast, and strategic alliances. Smith revolutionized the sports industry partnership approach with Angel City's model, where she combined revenue and impact to invest into local community initiatives focusing on equity, essentials, and education. And under her leadership, Angel City renewed over 90% of the team's season ticket members heading into the 2024 NWSL season, which is absolutely insane. Prior to her time at Angel City, Smith served as vice president sponsorship at the San Jose Earthquakes from 2017 to 2020, where she secured the largest academy-specific jersey partnership in MLS history. Before joining the Earthquakes, Smith worked for the Columbus Blue Jackets from 2015 to 2016, and she also spent time working for the Oakland Athletics from 2008 to 2015 in roles within ticketing and sponsorship. Smith was named to the 2023 Sports Business Journal's 40 Under 40 list and the 2023 Leaders in Sport Under 40 class with her work with Angel City. Smith holds her BA in journalism from State University of New York and received her MSA from Ohio University. So the Valkyries are in very good hands with Jess Smith. The team's general manager is Ohema Nyanen from the New York Liberty. In her role, Nyan will oversee all basketball operations with the Valkyries, inclusive of a roster construction, team building, and player development. Nyan will report to Warriors co-executive chairman and CEO Joe Lacob. Lacob said, Ohema is the perfect fit to lead our WNBA basketball operations as we prepare for our inaugural season in 2025. As we move through the GM hiring process, it became more apparent each day how impressive and well-versed Ohema is in all facets of the business and as a person. She brings an incredible knowledge of the WNBA and international women's basketball landscape from her time with the Liberty and USA Basketball. Additionally, she has a deep passion and desire to build a strong culture and ultimately win basketball games. We are thrilled to welcome her to the Golden State. Nyan joins WNBA Golden State from the New York Liberty, where she spent over 5 years in a variety of capacities, most recently as the team's assistant general manager, and then as assistant general manager, Nyan served as the primary liaison between the basketball and business operations team, assisting with free agency trade, salary cap management, and extension of the roster. Her previous roles with the Liberty include Director of Basketball Operations, which was from 2020 to 2022, and Manager of Basketball Operations from 2019 to 2020. During her 5 seasons with the Liberty, the team notched 3 WNBA playoff appearances, including a trip to the 2023 WNBA Finals as the 2nd overall seed. Prior to her time with Liberty, Nyan spent 5 years as USA Basketball's assistant director of the women's national team, where she led youth women's national team to international competitions, managing delegation, logistics, and serving as the translator in Spanish-speaking countries. Nyan played an integral role in the USA Basketball women's national team, winning a gold medal at both the 2016 Olympics held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and the 2018 World Cup held in Spain. So obviously the Valkyries are on very good supervision with Ohema Nyan and Jess Smith, and I'm very excited to see how they're going to take off this new team. The Valkyries will be playing at the Chase Center in San Francisco, which is the home arena for the organization's NBA team, the Warriors. Before deciding on a name, the team sold upwards of 7,000 season tickets in an arena that can seat more than 18,000 people. The WNBA approved the Bay Area franchise in October 2023, making it the league's first expansion team since the Atlantic Dream in 2008, which was literally so long ago. The Dream was the 14th WNBA franchise at the time, but the contraction of the Houston Comets and Sacramento Monarchs in subsequent years left the league with 12 clubs, a number that held literally constant for the next 15 years. So this is a really huge change to the league. Smith said, "We wanted to be inclusive of the Golden State name. We want to be inclusive of all women's sports for people to know that we are a pillar of the strength of where this is going and how we can build and bring people together. But most importantly, we want to build a brand that is incredibly inclusive and one that people like to be a part of because of what it means to the strength of Golden State and the Valkyries. So we feel like every decision that we made along the way allowed us to nod to all of those audiences." The development of this brand, led by Warriors Senior Vice President of Marketing Amanda Chin, started in October 2023 when the expansion franchise was officially announced and approved. The franchise used the agency Cartwright while also looking for community input. Smith pointed to the San Francisco Chronicle write-in survey in which 25% of respondents suggested the name Valkyries for the team name. Golden State won't be the newest team for much longer, to be honest, as Commissioner Kathleen Ingleby has expressed hope that the WNBA will expand to 16 franchises by the year 2028, which is really soon if you think about it. A 14 team is reportedly set to debut in Toronto in 2026, though the league has yet to confirm that news. At last week's meeting with the Associated Press sports editors, Engelbert said that the 15th team will be announced this year, with up to 10 cities still up for conversation for the 16th spot. I'm not sure if that is actually going to happen. I hope it is, obviously, but judging just based on historical patterns, how long it took for them to make a 13th team since 2008, I feel like this might actually take a bit longer than expected, which would be disappointing, but I am hoping that another team will come out soon, of course. This Saturday, May 18th from 2 to 6 p.m., Thrive City will host a Valkyries block party featuring appearances and performances from iconic artists with ties to the Bay Areas. Valkyries merchandise is available now at shop.valkyries.com, and the collection includes products from FISLL, Nike, Playa Society, The Wild Collective, Wear by Aaron Andrews, and Wilson. Before we transition to the next segment, I wanted to go more into detail about the logo actually is and what the brand will look like identity-wise. The outer shape of the logo is a V, which represents the V and Valkyries and symbolizes the unity of a group of Valkyries and flight, and standing for victory. The Bay Bridge is depicted to reinforce the team's presence across the bay, but specifically the tie between the team's homes and both Oakland, where the team's practice facility and front office is located, and in San Francisco's Chase Center, where the team will play all home games. The bridge tower doubles as a sword, a symbol of courage, power, and authority. Swords are a weapon frequently depicted with Valkyries in mythology, and the bridge cables double as wings, a strong telegraphic symbol of Valkyries. The 5 triangles formed within the wings represent the 5 players facing each other on each side of the court, which is very creative. The 13 lines coming from the top of the sword represent the Valkyries becoming this 13th active team in the WNBA. Valkyrie violet, the color, symbolizes power, ambition, nobility, and women's empowerment, which is just like how that color purple has been used symbolically in modern history. It's great to see that it's taking on the sports world. I really like how this logo and brand identity was really thought out. I feel like it really encompasses the entire brand, and I feel like it's really going to make headlines and really be a very standout team, especially with the Valkyrie violet or the purple color that they have. So we're now going to move on to our next segment, where we're going to be talking about how Tennessee softball can and can't win first in the Women's College World Series. But before we do that, we're going to be taking a short break, so I will see you guys very, very soon.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
Hello everybody, welcome back. We just got done talking about how the 13th WNBA team finally unveiled its name, which is really exciting news. We're now going to dive into the next segment where we talk about how Tennessee softball can and can't win first in the WCWS. Before we do so, I just wanted to remind you guys to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, you can become a part of our show by tipping and donating. Your support means a lot to us. Also, we do get a number of questions that come in from viewers during the show, so to make sure that your questions get read on the air, I ask that you use the link gsmcpodcast.net so that I can see the questions, and of course, we do really appreciate the support. So now that we got that out of the way, we are going to start talking about Tennessee softball. Oh, and also I wanted to remind you guys to stay tuned till the end of this live stream to hear how the participation in women's sports gap. So if you are someone who cares that women's sports are or are not getting attention, then this is a very important segment for you to watch. So make sure you stay tuned till the end. Okay, so now let's start talking about Tennessee softball. So Tennessee softball is in position for another run to the Women's College World Series after being selected the number 3 national seed Sunday, the highest NCAA tournament seed in program history. The Lady Vols are coming off their second straight SEC regular season championship, another program first, and they are hosting the NCAA regional rounds in Knoxville for the 19th consecutive season. Tennessee will face Dayton, which has a record of 31-19 on Friday. Miami of Ohio with a record of 48-7, and Virginia with a record of 32-18 will play in the first game of the day as well. Tennessee dominated a stacked SEC, winning every series and taking down 7 ranked opponents, but there are many reasons as to why Tennessee may not and why they can actually win. First, we're going to talk about why Tennessee softball can win the WCWS in a more positive light. The Lady Vols, the top seed in the SEC tournament, was upset in their first game by number 8 seed LSU on Thursday, losing 2-1 in the pitchers' duel. Florida went on to win the title, and not getting a single win at the SEC tournament will not sit well with the Lady Vols, even though the circumstances were less than ideal, having had to wait out a 7-hour weather delay. So they do have time to recover from that. So they did get an extra few days off to stew the loss, which will hopefully only motivate the team even more. Tennessee has responded well to losses or poor performances all season and in the past, really, and this is one of Coach Karen Weekly's most talented teams. And the Lady Vols, who returned a strong core from last season, could accomplish something that they've never done before. I do have faith that they will be able to recover from a loss. The team is very strong mentally, and they have great teamwork and team leadership, so I feel like this wouldn't be as much of a challenge for them. Also, Tennessee has the most dominating pitching duo in the nation. One of the reasons for Tennessee's dominance is its 2 starting pitchers. Sophomore Carlin Pickens won SEC Pitcher of the Year, and graduate Peyton Gottschall was a first-team All-SEC selection, and they bring completely different looks into the circle. Pickens pitches with a rare level of velocity, regularly throwing faster than 70 miles per hour, and the development of her changeup made her the SEC leader in whiff rate. Gottschall is one of the best at attacking the strike zone. She throws at lower speeds than Pickens does, but she has an arsenal of pitches, and her strike-to-watt ratio of 5.77 ranks her as number 13th in the nation. However, it's important to recognize that there are still many reasons as to why Tennessee softball may not win the WCWS. Just like the past, the Lady Vols offense may fall flat again. Tennessee struggled against the Aces of Stanford and Texas at the beginning of the season. The Lady Vols hit their stride offensively and are a much different team now, but they still suffered 2 shutout losses in SEC play and could not get timely hits against LSU in the SEC tournament. However, they're still ranked in the top 5 in the SEC in nearly every offensive category, including batting average, slugging percentage, on-base percentage, run scores, and RBIs. So Tennessee will face the best pitchers in the country if it advances to the WCWS. In order to win its first national championship, they can't have an off night offensively. Also, the winner of UT's regional faces the winner of national number 14 seed Alabama's regional, which includes USC Upstate, Southeastern Louisiana, and Clemson. The Lady Vols won their series against Alabama, but the Tide also handed them one of the only 3 shutout losses this season. Tennessee did beat Clemson, but it was a pitcher's duel that ended in a 2-1 win for UT. Both teams would be a challenge in the Super Regionals, and that's not even accounting for the rest of the field that the Lady Vols might face in the WCWS. They have the potential to win it all, but they will have to get even better the further they get in the postseason. And it is true that they do have a lot of setbacks with them offensively. To me personally, I think Tennessee has an amazing chance of winning just based on reputation and background. They have been doing really well, and if they continue with that confidence and stride, then they have an enormous shot of winning. Hopefully these offensive issues in the beginning of the season do not continue, and instead they put their head up high and stay confident throughout. And we have seen them be very confident as a team, especially with their teamwork and team leadership. So I do have faith in them that they can get more confident and boost that stride that they have to win. It is just a concern offensively, and they will need to, I guess, pay more attention to that before championships and all of that. So we're now going to talk about how some gymnastics stars are prepping for the Paris Olympics and the U.S. Olympic trials. Before we do that, we are going to take a short break, so I will see you guys very, very soon.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Hey guys, welcome back. So we just got done talking about how Tennessee softball can and can't win first place in the WCWS, and we're now going to transfer into my favorite segment of today, where we're going to be talking about Olympic gymnasts. So we're going to be talking about how gymnastics stars are prepping for the Olympics, and we're going to be focusing on 4 very prominent and famous Olympians. We're going to focus on Suni Lee, Simone Biles, Jordan Chiles, and Jade Carey. So without further ado, we're going to start talking about these absolutely amazing gymnasts and how they're prepping. So to start, Suni Lee. Suni Lee, as we know, has faced kidney-related issues, so we're obviously going to dive into that as well. But she said that she's faced new challenges in the last 12 months, finding new goals and relying on past trainings. And as we know, Suni Lee was the Olympic all-around champion in 2020. She achieved a team silver medal and a bronze medal on the uneven bars. She also advanced to the balance beam finals in 2020. In the beginning of May, Lee opened up about her challenges in an interview. She talked about how she was a different athlete in the 2020 Olympics. While her coaches encouraged her to be proud of her hard work no matter what, Lee feels that she is not the same athletic-wise, but her coach's encouragement is definitely helpful for her to gain that confidence that she needs. Fortunately, she has a support system that she can lean on to help with her confidence. She says she talks to a therapist a couple times a week, and she has worked on prioritizing her mental health, which is great. She says that her coach is like her dad in a way, as he is always encouraging her, and they really helped her during her 2 kidney-related diseases. Lee also opened up about overcoming health obstacles and to return to the competition, like her 2 kidney-related diseases. Her doctor said that he thought Lee would never do gymnastics ever again, so for Lee to even be competing right now is a huge accomplishment in itself. She is in remission right now and is focusing on the upcoming Paris Olympics. In regards to the Olympic trials, Lee is nervous that it is in her home state of Minnesota, and honestly, I would be too, being in like a home state. That seems very nerve-wracking. She says it's making her a lot more anxious being in her home state, including the fact that a lot of her family members and friends of hers are flying in to see her compete. So that seems a little bit nerve-wracking. I do not blame her at all. And then following the Olympic trials, Lee is looking forward to the Paris Olympics, like seeing many athletes and creating relationships with them. She says it was super fun to be able to support the other athletes in the 2020 Olympics. Lee has put pressure on herself in the upcoming Olympics, and in an interview she said, "I feel like this time is more proving it to myself, because of course, in the back of my head I think, oh, you didn't deserve to win. And I told myself that so much because of the circumstances, but that's just me being hard on myself because I'm going to be my biggest critic. This time is more about proving it to myself and proving that I deserve to be on the Olympic team and that I deserve to be there with all of the other athletes. Despite all of this pressure, Lee says that she feels prepared on the balance beam and pretty good on the uneven bars. She competed in the vault and balance beam in August 2023's U.S. Classic and U.S. Championships, but she ended up withdrawing from Team USA World Championships and Pan Am Games selection competition months later, which pretty much ended her season and began a difficult 5-month period from which she and her coach, Jess Graba, says she's only recently emerged. Lee says she's had a rough patch being in and out of the gym for about 5 months. She says it was a really mental challenge trying to figure out her health issues. Graba, her coach, said that Lee seemed very depressed when she had to miss out on going to the gym. But now that Lee is doing better, she has been able to spend literally 8 hours a day in the gym and get ready for the Olympic trials with her mindset on the Paris Olympics. So we're now going to talk about Simone Biles, who we all know for her explosive power, intricate skills, and unmatched success in the sport, making her one of the greatest gymnasts of all time. She also is one of the most decorated gymnasts. Actually, I think she is the most decorated American gymnast, fun fact. She has won a total of 32 Olympic and World Championships medals, and she's currently planning to ace dangerous moves at the Paris Olympics, which I am so excited to watch, because we all know that she created a lot of moves, which we'll get into, and it's created a lot of different skills, so it's interesting to see how she's going to take up this new Olympics. So according to her coach, what she's been prepping for the most is these new dangerous moves. Biles was the creator of the Yurchenko double pike in 2023, which really helped her gain recognition as a professional gymnast all around the world. Notably, the most dangerous and adrenaline-rushing moves in artistic gymnastics is Cheng the Biles, Amanar, Biles second, and full twisting Yurchenkos. These feats performed by female gymnasts include upside-down twisting from the vaulting table and hurling down the runway, making a vault routine scores so hard-earned. It is so impressive to watch. Biles' groundbreaking Yurchenko double pike vault, which became her second vault named move, earned her a score of 16.1 at the U.S. Classic of 2021. The score surpassed both of her vaults that won gold in the 2016 Rio Olympics, and at the 2023 World Championship, she became the first female vaulter to land the technique at an event sanctioned by the International Gymnastics Federation. It's now known as the Biles second, and the FIG code of points. Possibly the most crucial vault in women's gymnastics is the Amanar. When it comes to winning gymnastics twists, Team USA has easily outperformed all other teams throughout history. Remember, Biles is 4 feet 8 inches, and she is just naturally so strong and athletic, so always keep that in mind whenever you're thinking of Simone Biles. Biles stunned the 2015 U.S. Nationals with her humanly perfect Amanar vault, which scored her 16 points, and she got 15.15 on her second vault and placed first in the event with an average of 15.575. From the boundary pushing to Simone Biles' habit of producing leap-forward moments, the characteristic of once-in-a-generation talent is what sets Biles apart for sure. The May 2024 U.S. Classic is where Biles will make her Olympic season debut, so that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to watching, and I'm obviously looking forward to watching these super dangerous moves that she's been preparing for the most. Next, I wanted to talk about Jordan Chiles. Very impressively, Chiles says that she's not anxious and is instead very excited and confident, which I find so impressive because, if I was competing in the Olympics, I would be so anxious I would not be able to speak. With a silver medal from the Tokyo Olympics already in her trophy case, along with 3 world medals, Chiles knows exactly who she is and her capabilities. She plans to carry that confidence through until the very end. She's set to make her season debut May 18th at the Core Hydration Classic in Hartford, Connecticut, almost 3 months after she withdrew from the Winter Cup after spraining the AC joint in her shoulder. The injury left Chiles out of the gym for almost 3 weeks, an inconvenient yet minor setback to the start of the year, and 3 weeks does make a large difference and impact, especially in the world of gymnastics. But now she's eager to return to the competition floor, and she really is just as strong as always. In Hartford, Charles plans to do all around, and hence there may be a few upgrades thrown into routines as well. So just like Biles, we will be very excited to see what dangerous new upgrades and moves will be in her routines. Charles is embracing a new model this year to help her with her confidence, and her new model is "I'm that girl." The simple phrase serves as a daily reminder for Charles of who she is and what she is capable of, especially coming off a difficult year in 2023. After a successful sophomore season with the UCLA Bruins, where she picked up NCAA titles on uneven bars and the floor exercise, as well as a second-place finish in the all-around, Charles had a quick turnaround to prepare for her elite competition season. Charles considered staying in Los Angeles to train, but ultimately decided it was in her best interest to return to the World Champion Center in Texas, where she began training in 2019. With just a few short weeks of training and with her coaches Laurent and Cecily Landy before a busy elite season got underway, she hit the ground running and didn't look back. Charles finished 5th in the all-around at the U.S. Championships, but she struggled nearly a month later at the World Championship selection camp, where it was ultimately decided that she would not be selected for the American team headed to Belgium. As difficult as the decision was, Charles used the time to reflect and refocus. Charles said, "There are times where you should take time for yourself and really focus on what you want, because at the end of the day, you're doing this for yourself, so you should understand your why. Did I want to make the world team? 100%. Was I supposed to make the world team? That was all God telling me there's a reason why." Though she missed the world's team, Charles kept her chin up and represented the U.S. well at the 2023 Pan American Games, winning team gold, vault silver, and all-around bronze. Then it was back to the gym to keep grinding. Charles decided to defer her enrollment at UCLA to focus solely on her preparations for Paris Olympics. The door is open to return for the 2025 NCAA season, but for now, Charles is laser focused on her elite professional training. Lastly, I wanted to talk about Jade Carey. Carey apparently had a difficult season in 2023, and obviously and reasonably, she was very frustrated with herself. Carey has won 7 medals at the World Championships, including 3 golds, and is a reigning Olympic champion on the floor exercise. But last year, she finished a surprising 15th at the U.S. Championships and the all-around, her first time outside the top 8 at the event in her career. With Carey's junior season as part of the Oregon State University's women's gymnastics team having wrapped up last week at the NCAA Championships in Fort Worth, Texas, she says the up and down 2023 season has informed how she and her coach, who is also her father, Brian Carey, I did not know that, that was interesting to me, have approached this Olympic season differently. Jade Carey said, "I think a big thing for me was, well, there were a few things. Numbers and just endurance and strength. I feel like not working as many elite routines during the season. I didn't feel strong enough or confident enough in my elite routines because I didn't have that strength and endurance like I did before. It was really just that and me not feeling confident because I was feeling this way. It was definitely a big struggle, but at the end of the day, we learned a lot. It's what really pushed me to just be even better and more on top of it this year." So Carey is currently balancing the NCAA gymnastics and the demands of elite level Olympic training simultaneously, which is without a doubt very, very impressive. And honestly, that seems very, very difficult. So it will be interesting to see how she is carrying with both of those. And I hope that, prepping for and working with the NCAA gymnastics will also help her take those skills to the Olympic training as well, and instead not, make her too anxious or anything, and just really keep her confidence up high working on her skills. So now that we just talked about 4 amazing Olympic gymnasts and their preparation, including how they're feeling in the upcoming Paris Olympics, we're going to transition into our next segment where we will talk about NAU and Minnesota State University and their track and field championships. Before we do so, we are going to be taking a short little break, so I will see you guys very, very soon.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. Thank you guys for coming right back. We just finished talking about how certain gymnastics stars are prepping for the Olympics, and we're now going to move on to our next segment where we're going to talk about NAU and MSU and track and field championships. So they're in different conferences, so it might be confusing, but basically Northern Arizona University and Minnesota State University both won their championships in track and field in different conferences. So Minnesota State competed in the NSIC Outdoor Championships on Saturday at Mark Struck Outdoor Track and Field Complex, and then Northern Arizona University competed at the Big Sky Conference Outdoor Championships. Okay, so let's start by talking about Minnesota State University. Oh, sorry guys, that was a little sneak peek. So for the third consecutive season and fifth time in program history, Minnesota State won the championships. The NCAA Division II three-day event hosted on MSU campus featured NSIC record performances, facility record times, and Olympic qualifiers. The MSU Mavericks topped the charts with 252 points in a 14-team field. Mike Turkin, men and women's track and field head coach, said, "I think this was one of the coolest atmospheres I've been at for the conference meet in my 20 years. All around outstanding performances from our team, but also other teams was great to see. We finally had some quality weather and we were ready to go on as a result." After impressing in prelims Friday, senior sprinter Denisha Cartwright turned in another record-setting afternoon. In the 100-meter hurdles, Cartwright charged across the line with a blistering personal best time of 12.6 seconds. The mark broke the NSIC record, facility record, and MSU program record. She also reached the Olympic A standard and set the NCAA Division II all-time record. In addition, Cartwright's time was the second fastest in a collegiate outdoor track this season and the 15th quickest time in women's 100-meter hurdles in collegiate history, equaling Priscilla Lopez in 2006 and Sydney Sember in 2015. The Mavericks also took podium in positions 2 to 4 at the 100-meter hurdles. Junior Adea Brewster was second after setting a division second best of 13.17 seconds, a personal record. Third was Esaba Okwaramoy with 13.66 seconds, which is fifth in Division II and a personal best for herself. Fourth across was Roxanne Foster with 13.69 seconds, with a personal record in her final NSIC Outdoor Championships at MSU. So that's a great way to, end her career there. Cartwright continued in the 200-meter finals, where she placed first with a season best and facility record time of 23.07 seconds, which is good for second in Division II this spring. Teammate Lanisha Norwood with a time of 24.07 seconds crossed fourth, and Tijuanique Morden with a time of 24.43 seconds was fifth. The 100-meter dash was won by Cartwright with a record time of 11.3 seconds. Brewster was also fourth with 11.62 seconds, which is overall the 24th place in Division II. Cartwright was not the only MSU athlete to break NSIC records on Saturday. Senior Paige Hickson posted a pole vault mark of 4.21 meters for first place, and Hope Stengel came in third at a height of 3.71 meters. Gada Hamdani surpassed the NSIC record in women's triple jump, and it was Hamdani with the first place line in the sand at 12.86 meters, which is the third best in Division II this season. Teammate Stella Neophyto at 12.83 meters and Lillian Washington at 12.68 meters were third and fourth respectively, both inside the top 10 nationally. So obviously MSU is really pushing for those rankings up there. The MSU Mavericks also dominated in discus throw. Senior Madeline Freitag won the event with a heave of 47.42 meters, Aubrey Brown took second place with a throw of 47.17 meters, which is a personal record and good for 18th in Division II. Freetag also won the shot put on Friday for MSU. Senior Eilick Elaine, recognized on Saturday for the NSIC Elite 18 Award, won the 400-meter hurdle finals for MSU with a personal record time of just right over 1 minute, which is 20th in Division II this spring. Lane also performed well in 400 meters with a second place time of 54.54 seconds, which is 21st in Division II and a personal best for herself. Teammate Elizabeth Schmidt crossed in fourth at 57.19 seconds. And then senior McKenna Thurston took home first place in the 1500-meter run. Her 21st best time in Division II was 4 minutes and 25.19 seconds, which is her personal record. Madison Magstex represented MSU's top finish in the 5,000-meter run with a 9th place finish of 17 minutes and 52.85 seconds. The day ended on track with relays, obviously. Cartwright joined forces with Brewster, Morton, and Rose Kramer and won the 4x100-meter relay in a facility record 45.26 seconds ahead of University of Mary, which is a huge deal because University of Mary has a great reputation in women's track and field. Minnesota State also won the 4x400-meter relay in 3 minutes and 50.25 seconds. The Mavericks' third straight outdoor conference title followed their fourth straight indoor title in February. Minnesota State women's outdoor track and field ranked number 5 in Division II in this week's USTFCCCA Team Ratings Index, and the NCAA Division II Outdoor Championships are set for May 23rd to the 25th, and in Kansas, with entries announced next week. Coach Turgan said, "We're going to have some rest because this is a big meet that drained everyone. We've been pushing them pretty hard, but we'll have a couple days of rest and then start to gear up on Wednesday. Our men's and women's teams both made dramatic strides. We just need weather. Our big goal is to win a trophy on the women's side and then get to the top 6 or top 8 on the men's side, then build from there because anything can happen at the national meet." And that is very true. Really anything could happen at the national meet, so it'll be very interesting to see how it goes. So now, moving on to NAU's victory. Okay, so the Northern Arizona University women's track and field team made their 4th consecutive Big Sky Conference Outdoor Championship title Saturday in Montana. The women scored a total of 240.5 points, which is the 3rd highest point total in conference championships history. Madeline Wilson was named Women's Most Valuable Athlete, while Anika Reese was named Women's Most Outstanding Performer. Wilson won both the 100 and 200 meter races. She ran a time of 11.70 seconds, or 7. I don't know how people, I always say 7. So 11.7 seconds in the 100 meter and 23 seconds in the 200 meter. Carrera Ray also competed in the 200 meter, running a personal best of 23.63 seconds to place second. Reese took the event win in the 1500, finishing in 4 minutes and 17.71 seconds to earn 10 points. Maggie Condon and Nikita Moore placed 3rd and 4th with times of 4 minutes and 21.93 seconds and 4 minutes and 22.78 seconds. Gracelyn Larkin placed 5th with a time of 4 minutes and 23.84 seconds, while Kira Moore placed 6th with a time of 4 minutes and 24.01 seconds. Bryn Morley and Cara Beluga competed in the same event, with Morley placing 7th with a time of 4 minutes and 25.21 seconds. Oh my goodness, 25 minutes, that would be crazy. I meant to say Morley placed 7th with a time of 4 minutes and 25.21 seconds, and Beluga placing 8th with a time of 4 minutes and 25.86 seconds. Ava Mitchell finished 9th in the event after running a personal best of 4 minutes and 29.16 seconds. And then we have Condon won the 800 meter, crossing the finish line in 2 minutes and 6.38 seconds. Reese placed 3rd in the event with a time of 2 minutes and 7.5 seconds, and Nikita Moore and Kira Moore finished 4th and 5th, running times of 2 minutes and 9.20 seconds and 2 minutes and 10.52 seconds. Odessa Zenz placed 7th in the event with a time of 2 minutes and 13.24 seconds. Ray won the 400 meter event with a school and conference record time of 52.19 seconds, which is insane to get both of those records in the same race. Piper Pfister took gold in the javelin with a personal best of 46.04 meters, and Amelia Bicklegs was 8th with a mark of 38.2 meters. The women's 4 to 100 meter relay ran the 4 by 100 meter relay. Oh my gosh, should I say 4 and 100? The women's 4 by 100 meter relay. That's what I meant to say if I said that wrong. Okay, the women's 4 by 100 meter relay ran the second fastest time in school history as they finished first with a time of 44.44 seconds. Kanisha Lee Kerr placed first in the triple jump with a personal best of 12.99. Kerr's mark is third on the school's all-time performance list in the event, and then Brenna Rodriguez finished seventh in the event with a mark of 12.13 meters. Lene Perry earned the Big Sky individual title in the 400 meter hurdles with a time of 58.08 seconds. Grayson Larkin won the event title in the 5,000 meter in 16 minutes and 32.59 seconds. And then Alejandra Upshaw placed second, finishing in 60 minutes and 44.77 seconds, while Bryn Morley placed third with a time of 60 minutes and 52.79 seconds. And then lastly, Soraya Hornkemp placed second in the discus with a throw of 47.47 meters. NAU beat Eastern Washington, University of Idaho, Idaho State University, University of Montana, Montana State University, Northern Colorado University, Portland State, Sacramento State, and Weber State. And these schools are not necessarily known for track and field as their main sport, technically, but it is still very impressive that NAU beat all these large schools with amazing athletes, and NAU really dominated the competition, as you can see. I mean, they placed first for a reason, if you really think about it. So we're now going to talk about the participation gap in women's college sports. Before we do that, we are going to take a very short break, so I will see you guys very soon. Welcome back, guys. Thank you guys for joining the very last segment. I'm very excited for this next segment. It's going to be very interesting. So we just got back talking about how NAU and MSU won their track and field championships, and we are now going to be diving into the participation gap in women's college sports. Okay, so it's a lot of background information, so just bear with me. So the U.S. Government Accountability Office, in a report issued Thursday, appeared critical of the OCR's oversight and explained opportunities for women in college athletics, saying the office, quote, conducts few proactive activities. The report found that women take part in college sports at lower rates than men's, even though they enroll at higher rates in college itself. The criticism also arrives at a time when women's college sports, particularly basketball, have recently gained more popularity and viewership. The prominence of Caitlin Clark, the former guard for the University of Iowa's women's basketball team, who became the NCAA Division I's all-time leading scorer across women's and men's basketball, has really helped propel the momentum. And during the more than 50 years since its adoption, Title IX of the Education Amendments of 1972 have prohibited discrimination based on sex in activities or programs receiving federal funding. The federal law also mandates schools to provide equal opportunity based on sex. The department's OCR is tasked with enforcing compliance of Title IX, as we know. So U.S. Representative Bobby Scott, ranking member of the House Committee on Education and the Workforce, released the GAO report with U.S. Representative Suzanne Bonamici, ranking member of the House Subcommittee on Early Childhood, Elementary, and Secondary Education. Scott said, "Every student who wants to play a sport in college should have a fair and equal opportunity to do so." And then he said, "Regrettably, today's GAO report confirms that while female college enrollment numbers outpace male enrollment, opportunities for female athletes significantly lag behind their male counterparts." Bonham-Mitchell said the federal law sets a standard of equal opportunity that too many schools have failed to meet, and she added that the GAO report, quote, "shows that women enroll in college at a higher rate than men but consistently participate in college athletics at a lower rate than men." The report highlighted the persistent gaps in college sports participation between women and men. Approximately 93% of colleges saw lower athletic participation rates for women relative to their enrollment rate during the 2021 to 2022 academic year. Title IX also requires schools receiving federal funding to have participation numbers of men and women in college sports to be substantially proportionate to their overall enrollment, according to the Department of Education. Yet, women's overall athletic participation rate fell 14 percentage points behind their enrollment rate in the 2021 to 2022 academic year, which is what the GAO found. The GAO noted that the OCR made, quote, limited use of available data for oversight purposes and did not, quote, always communicate with colleges in a timely way during monitoring. On average, it took half a year for the OCR to respond to colleges after they submitted their Title IX athletics monitoring reports per the GAO. The Congressional Watchdog found year-long delays in communication between OCR and some colleges. And in 10 of 26 cases, it took at least a year or longer for the OCR to communicate with a college. In one case, for example, it took nearly 7 years for the OCR to approve the college's proposed methodology for assessing whether it complied with Title IX athletics requirements, which is what the GAO said. In response to the report, Catherine Lehman, Assistant Secretary for Civil Rights at the department, said the department is, quote, fully committed to work with GAO to ensure the recommendations are implemented to the extent possible. The attention paid to women's sports is on the rise thanks in part to Caitlin Clark's popularity on the court. Clark, as we know, is now playing for the WNBA's Indiana Fever. And in April, the Women's Basketball Championship garnered more viewers compared to the Men's Championship game for the first time in NCAA history. And other than this, it's important to note that the lack of viewership for women's sports ultimately stems from our society that has, over the course of history, placed more value on the athletics of men than those of women. It really wasn't until recently that women have had the platform to play many sports at the professional level at all. Like, historically, when you think about it, the NBA was founded in 1946, but it wasn't until 1999 that the WNBA was established. Similarly, while a professional league was established earlier this year, women's hockey has been struggling to maintain a league for years, while the NHL has been thriving for over a century. Even more frustrating, to be honest, is the fact that many sports still don't have professional women's leagues available for athletes, which has really caused a lot of women athletes to walk away from the sport after college, and some even before college. While it's encouraging that women's athletics have been gaining popularity and media coverage in recent years, it's important to look at the societal and historical structures they face. Despite the constant discrepancies, it's clear that women's sports can bring in viewership when they are given the platform to do so. The 2024 Women's NCAA Basketball Tournament brought in an outstanding 24 million viewers this spring, which was actually more than the men's tournament. Last year, the Women's World Cup brought in a record-breaking 1.12 billion viewers, which is really impressive and absolutely insane and a huge improvement. Still, in regards to this gap, there have been a lot of celebrities and famous athletes supporting and encouraging people to participate in and watch women's sports, which has been very helpful. But obviously, while this is helpful, it's not necessarily going to fix the gap. I'm not saying that it's not helpful. It is very helpful, and it's very appreciated. But of course, there still needs to be more done to literally fix the gap in terms of media attention. However, I do want to point out that Patrick Mahomes has given strong words on women's sports, and is very much appreciated. Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback in the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's known for his strength and leadership on and off the field, as we all know. I mean, I'm sure everyone has heard the name Patrick Mahomes before. Even if you haven't watched football before, I'm sure you have heard the name Patrick Mahomes. He's a 3-time Super Bowl winning quarterback, and he raised a toast to women in sports during the Time 100 Gala, celebrated on April 25th this year. The speech has recently gone viral after the release of it on social media. The Kansas City Chiefs star attended the event after being named one of the most prestigious 100 most influential people on the publications list last month, which makes complete sense. In the video posted by Time on Monday, May 3rd, Mahomes used his time on stage to recognize women and their accomplishments in sport, while also giving a shout out to Las Vegas Aces star Asia Wilson. During the speech, Mahomes said, "I'd like to raise a glass to the new era in sports, an era when the women's game is finally getting the attention it deserves. Tonight I'd like to propose a toast to the rise of women's sports. The real reason you should toast women's sports is because they're incredible. Women's sports has it all, and I think people are starting to figure it out." And then he also talked about some of the milestones of women's sports over recent years, both at the professional level as well as in college disciplines. Mahomes is right, and if you ever thoroughly watch the NWSL, the WNBA, or any other women's sports league, you would know that these women are legit amazing athletes. You also probably know that the players are severely underpaid in many of the leagues, and Mahomes has also advocated for that. The NFL has a player who is the face of the league and is doing everything right, and is very much appreciated. Hearing his passion about women's sports makes it even harder for people to dislike him, because there are controversies that rise with him, so this is very appreciated that he has come out and showed his appreciation for women's sports. Also, his speech attempts to help fix the participation gap in some way, and even though he is referring to professional leagues like the WNBA, this speech still brings light onto women's college sports overall, like women's sports in general, which also then leads to women's college sports also. So that concludes our last segment. Thank you guys for tuning in to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you once again, and have a wonderful day.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to